Hello students, in today's class we'll discuss a very important concept from organic chemistry. So that is the chromatography. Okay students, so in today we'll discuss in details about the chromatography technique. Okay, so first of all you see what is meant by chromatography. Okay, so actually chromatography is a Greek word. Okay, so here chroma stand for color. Chroma is what? Color. And graphy means writing. This graphy is nothing but what? Writing. Now clear? The meaning of chromatography. Chroma is a Greek word. Chroma means color and graphy means writing. Actually, this chromatography technique previously they can use to separate the different plant pigments. Okay, you know the different plant pigments like chlorophyll, xanthophyll. So such plant pigments they are separated by using the chromatography technique. But nowadays this chromatography technique is used to separate the various organic compound. Okay students, now clear everybody? This chromatography technique is used to separate the various organic compound and it also used to purify the various organic compounds. Okay, so first of all you see the definition of chromatography. So what is the definition? Chromatography is the valuable technique which is used to separation, purification and identification of organic compound. Okay, so by using this technique we can identify the organic compound also, we can purify the organic compound as well as we can separate the organic compound. Now clear everybody? Chromatography is the valuable technique which is used to separation, identification and purification of organic compound. Now clear students? Now we'll see the types of chromatography. Actually there are the two types. One is the adsorption chromatography and one is the partition chromatography. Here just see chromatography, they are divided into two parts. One is the adsorption chromatography and second one is the partition chromatography. Okay students, so in today's class we will discuss about in details the adsorption chromatography. So this adsorption chromatography is mainly divided into two parts. One is the thin layer chromatography, that is nothing but TLC, thin layer chromatography, and second is the column chromatography. Okay, and partition chromatography, they are divided into the paper chromatography. But today's class will discuss in details about the thin layer chromatography. Now clear students, thin layer chromatography is nothing but TLC. So we'll discuss how thin layer chromatography is useful to separate the organic compound. Let's see the procedure. So in thin layer chromatography, first of all you take the one glass slide. So you know the glass slide. So this is one glass slide. So such glass slide we can use to test the blood also. For blood testing we can using that glass slide. Same glass slide we can using here. So here I am taking one glass slide. Okay. Now this much understand everybody. We'll take one glass slide and then we can spray the silica gel. Actually silica gel, it is in solid form. Okay. And this silica gel we can take one beaker and in that beaker we can take one solvent and we can add the silica gel. Okay, and we can make a slurry of the silica gel. Now understand, we can take the silica gel, it is in powder form. We can take one beaker, in that we can add water or any other particular solvent and we can add the silica gel and we can dissolve it and we will get one slurry. Okay, that slurry we can spray over the surface of this glass slide. Now understand everybody. So this silica gel, here I have written silica gel. Okay, we can spray the slurry of silica gel, okay, on the surface of this glass slide and then we can dry it for 5 to 10 minutes. Now clear this much? First of all I am taking one glass slide, then I am spraying the silica gel over the surface of glass slide. Okay, this is your glass slide. I am spraying the silica gel over the surface of this glass slide and then I am drawing one baseline. From here I am drawing the 2 centimeter baseline from the above the surface. 2 centimeter we can draw one baseline. Now this much I love to understand. So this is your baseline and then students, whatever mixture you are given for separation we can take in one beaker. So this is one beaker and taken the mixture. So which mixture we can separate, which mixture we have to purify, we can take in one beaker which contains one particular solvent. Okay, we dissolve it. Okay, and then this mixture 2 to 3 drops we can put over the surface of this at the center of this baseline. Okay, we can put 2 to 3 drops of this mixture. Okay, this is the so here I am putting one mixture 2 to 3 drops. Now clear this much? So this mixture, we can say which is used for the separation. So that mixture we can put 2 to 3 drops here, okay, and then you can dry it for 10 minutes again. Now allow to understand. So whatever mixture is given for separation, that you can dissolve in particular solvent, and then you can put 2 to 3 drops at the center of the baseline. Then this glass slide you can dry it for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes we can keep this glass slide inside the glass jar. So this is a glass jar, students. So that glass jar containing the solvent. So this is your solvent, particular solvent you can use, and you should use the solvent in such a way that that solvent should not react with this mixture. So we can take care about that. Whatever solvent we are going to be use here, that solvent does not react with this mixture. Otherwise what happen, another chemical reaction will be going on. So we can take care about, and you can choose the particular solvent, okay. So this glass slide we can keep inside the glass jar which containing this solvent, okay. Same glass jar I am putting here, okay. So this is your baseline, students, and here I am putting 2 to 3 drops of this mixture, okay. So students, before explaining this I am going to explain one concept, okay. So just tell me. So here I am taking one beaker, okay. So in that beaker I am taking the water. So here I am taking the water. We can see this is solvent, okay. Water I have taken, and in that beaker I am putting one chalk. So this is a chalk, okay. I am putting here. So this is what? Chalk, okay, students. Now tell me, when we can keep this chalk inside this beaker, what happens, students? Tell me, anybody? So which mechanism is going on now? So when we can keep this chalk inside the glass jar, inside this beaker, then what happens? This water will run over the surface of this chalk. Yes or no? Yes, obviously. So what happens? So this chalk, when we can keep inside this beaker, the water will run over the surface of this chalk. Already you know that. Okay. So here this chalk act as a stationary phase. What I say? Stationary phase, okay, and this water act as a moving phase, or we can say it is a mobile phase also, moving phase. Now clear, students? So this water act as a moving phase and this chalk act as a stationary phase. Now what happened in this case? This moving phase, this water will run over the surface of the stationary phase. This much I have to understand. It is very easy concept, and same concept we are going to be apply here, okay. So if you understand this, you can easily understand this concept. Okay, same concept I am going to be applying here. So whatever glass slide we are preparing here by spraying the silica gel, by putting the some mixture which is used for separation, we can keep inside this glass jar. Now we can keep this experiment for 2 to 3 hours. Okay. So what happens, students? Now here solvent is present inside this beaker. So we are putting some solvent here, and this is your glass slide. So now this solvent will run over this glass slide, because this glass slide containing the silica gel, you know that, okay. So this is a rough surface now. Now this water will run over the surface of this glass slide, yes or no? Obviously same mechanism we are applying here. This when water will run over the surface of this glass slide, same time, students, whatever mixture we can spotted here, so at that center, that is a sample dot, so it also will run over the surface of this glass slide. Yes or no? Obviously, because we are putting 2 to 3 drops of this mixture at the center of this glass slide, so that also run with the help of the solvent same time. Okay. So we can keep this experiment for 2 to 3 hours. After 2 to 3 hours, we can remove this glass slide. Okay. After removing, we can dry it for 10 minutes. Now it is a colorless. We can't get any spot now. Okay. But after 10 minutes, after drying, we can use some indicator like a ninhydrin or iodine solution. We can spray, okay, on the surface of this glass slide. We can spray the iodine solution or ninhydrin solution. That is indicator which helps to detect the colors. We can get the different colored spot. Okay. Now we can spray the iodine solution or ninhydrin solution. Here we will get one distinct color spot. Okay. Okay, we will get a color spot. Now students, what should you do? You can measure the distance from this baseline. Okay, so this is your baseline, and you can measure how much distance is covered of this spot. Okay, so you can calculate this. With the help of scale, we can measure. This is we can say the x, and you can again check how much distance traveled by that solvent also. Okay, so from baseline, how much distance is traveled? This is a solvent. We can see it is a y. Okay, now allow to understand this much. With the help of this, we can easily calculate the RF value. So RF is nothing but retardation factors. So how we can calculate the RF value? The distance traveled by the substance from the baseline divided by the distance traveled by the solvent from the baseline. This is very easy formula. We can use this and you can calculate their RF value. Here I have written the RF value formula. The distance moved by the substance from the baseline, that is x, divided by distance moved by the solvent from the baseline, that is a y. Okay, you can see it is a x divided by y. For example, this x is 3 centimeter. If you measure, this is a 3 centimeter, and this y we can measure it is a 4 centimeter. So you can say this 3 divided by 4. We can easily get the RF values. All of you understand, students? Thin layer chromatography. Once again, I just revise. Okay, in thin layer chromatography, first of all, you take one glass slide. Okay, and then you can spray the silica gel over the surface of this glass slide. This much all of you understand. First of all, I am taking one glass slide. Okay, then I am spraying the silica gel over the surface of this glass slide. Then we can dry it for 10 minutes. After drying, we can draw the baseline. From the base, we can draw the baseline 2 centimeter above. Okay, this is your baseline, and then you can whatever mixture is given for you for the separation, so that mixture you can dissolve in particular solvent, and that mixture you should put the 2 to 3 drops at the center of the baseline, and again you can dry it for 10 minutes. Allow you understand this much. And now this glass slide we can keep inside the glass jar which containing the solvent. Now students, clear? This is your glass jar. Now here I am adding some solvent and I am keeping this glass jar like this, and this is your baseline, and whatever mixture spot we given, this is your spot, this is your mixture, 2 to 3 drops, and you can keep this setup for 2 to 3 hours. After that, you can easily remove this glass slide outside the glass jar. You can remove this and you can dry it 10 minutes, and after drying you can spray the iodine or neon hydrogen solution, that is the indicators, and after drying, after spraying this indicator, we will get some colored spot here, and that color spot is nothing but your given mixture, and you can check their distance from the baseline. Okay, this is your baseline. You can measure the distance. This is the x, and from baseline how much distance is traveled by the solvent. We can see this is a solvent front, that is a y. So we can easily calculate the RF value. RF is nothing but what? Retardation factor. So how we can calculate the RF value? The distance traveled by the substance from the baseline divided by the distance traveled by the solvent from the baseline. This is very easy formula. So students, in next class we will discuss in details about the column chromatography. So column chromatography, it is also type of the absorption chromatography. Okay students, so before that you just take the screenshot. Okay, I will give one 10 second. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. You just take the screenshot of this class. Okay, thank you so much.